Hey guys, welcome back to Critical Flick. Today I'm reviewing Bombshell. Bombshell tells the stories of sexual harassment allegations and events that took place at Fox News in recent years and how that shook the entire network and the personalities on the network to the core. And I have to say right off the bat, I saw the casting for this movie and I could not have been more excited. It has some of the best actors and actresses in Hollywood today, and I think that they all did a really solid job. In particular, Margot Robbie, who plays Kayla, who is a character who is created for the film and is kind of an amalgamation of many different Fox employees and their accounts of what happened to them while they worked at the network, really knocks it out of the park. Her transformation as a bright-eyed, bushy-tailed girl who wants to go in and she wants to achieve all her dreams of being a newscaster, and having that crushed before her eyes by Roger Ailes was probably the most powerful scene in the film, and it absolutely made my skin crawl during that in particular scene. Just seeing that encapsulation of what it would be like to be in that situation as a woman who is kind of set in that casting couch situation is so uncomfortable, and it really drives home the main point of this film. While it is trying to deal with some historical events in its own way, I think the idea of understanding the core elements of the movie and the themes that are going on with it were perfectly encapsulated in that one just uncomfortable scene. As far as the other actresses in the film, Charlize Theron plays Megyn Kelly. Obviously, this was a highly publicized event, and having that walk through the different events that happen in the movie, it really draws you into what's going on because you kind of saw these things play out on TV and you're interested to see behind the scenes elements of those events, but at the same time, you must have a slight skepticism because the movie does get into some very dramatic elements and some almost comedic elements at times, and having this play out before your eyes and seeing someone who's playing a person that you know from TV, it looks kind of weird. They did a good job with the prosthetics and the makeup of making them look fairly similar to these people, but the fact that it's so recent and so current at times took me out of a little bit. Nicole Kidman was also very good playing Gretchen Carlson, and they all show a wide range of emotions as women who have been mistreated, and their anger and their just frustration of dealing with, going up the big establishment. And that's something, like I said, that's the main theme of the movie. If you can take it away, whether you want to be somebody who's for it, against it, obviously this movie is probably going to have a lot of backlash from people depending on how you believe in things politically, but just the fact that you're driving at sexual harassment in the workplace in the story is just something you can take away in of itself. There's also some really tension-filled scenes in this movie. It does have some lighthearted moments, surprisingly, but a lot of it has some really heavy tension when these women are navigating around the newsroom and around this building and getting around, and just that environment is one of the real highlights of the movie. It has this tension about it. Whenever these women are trying to wade through the waters of this situation, you feel like you're there with them. You feel this intense pressure of all their peers and just the public eye. I think one of the weaker aspects of the film is actually the editing, to be 100% honest with you. Like I said, there are some lighthearted moments in this movie, and I think there are some really stark tone shifts, and some of them come off a little strange. There's also some jumps back and forward in time and some fourth wall breaks. And this editing is a little jarring at times. It's a little jumping around, a little choppy. It's interesting because it almost feels like this story would be better told as a documentary. There are some scenes in the movie where they show some pictures and some stories by people that have come forward, and that hits a lot harder than most of the actual scenes in the movie, other than that scene with Margot Robbie, because that was just, I thought that scene in particular was incredibly hard-hitting and compelling. But having these real accounts from real people and their actual voices and their actual presence in the movie adds something that a dramatization just can't, in my opinion, especially with something so fairly recent. But I think all the performances, like I said, very well done, but seeing these real women and the real people that struggled with this situation, far more impactful than anything that we could have in a Hollywood film. So all that being said, I was kind of a mixed bag for me. Like I said, from performance aspect, very well done. Some really solid acting, some really interesting writing, and just some really compelling themes of workplace harassment and getting to the bottom of it and getting justice against the big corporation and exposing the truth for the little guy. That part was really compelling, really well done, and really interesting. But having it be a true narrative, I think could have been a little better serviced as being a documentary instead of a film dealing with something that happened so recently. But overall, I will give Bombshell a 7 out of 10. Like I said, if you're going to check it out for the performances, if you're someone who has done a lot of research into the events and you want to see it played out on the big screen, I didn't. I have, I heard in passing a lot of the things that happened on television, but I don't know the meat of it. I don't know the facts of what really happened. So it's hard for me to assess it on that level. But if you're someone who's really into that, I think it could be something that could really draw people to the theaters. So those are my thoughts on Bombshell. Thanks for watching. Remember to like and subscribe, and let me know, are you excited to check out this movie? How do you feel about this movie being made? Like I said, it almost seems a little bit better that it would have been a documentary than a movie like this, but maybe you feel differently. Maybe you like the entertainment value of a big budget Hollywood film. So yeah, put those comments down below. See you guys next time.